Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. All right, guys, today, as I said last week, I would be late delivering this video, but we are going to be going over the 5th episode of Put a Ring on It, Season 1, Episode 5, called Family Matters. Okay, so we're going to get right into this video, guys. So it starts off right where we left off, right? With the group waiting for Mike's decision of whether he will go on a second date with Whitney, okay? So Mike says yes, all right? And the group is stunned. And I was shocked too, but I wasn't surprised. I mean, remember last week he was fawning over this girl, so I was not surprised. I know that he was hesitant because he didn't want to upset his woman, Shay, but he really likes this girl and he's really attracted to this lady, Whitney. All right. So when Dr. Nicole asked if Shay wanted to go on her date, right, if she wanted to go on a second date with Payton, she says yes. And we know that she's just doing this to get under Mike's skin. Okay. So let's move on, right? We're going to stick with Mike and Shay. So we're going to do couple by couple like we did last week. All right. And since we're starting with Mike and Shay, with Mike's decision, we're going to just stick to Mike and Shay and move on from there. Okay. So they're home and they're talking about Zion again. Zion is Mike's son. Okay. So Mike says in his world, right, in his perfect world, all three of them are living together, him, Shay, and Zion. But Shay says, what if moving your son in was a deal breaker? And Mike says, then we would have to just break up. So in the confessional, Shay says that it stung her to hear him say this, but, you know, she really can't expect anything else. You know what I mean? Mike also says in the confessional that he is deeply in love with Shay, but his son comes first, even over himself. And that's what any real parent, mother or father, would say and should do. Okay, so next we get to Mike on his date with Whitney. All right, this is the second date, okay? And she's showing up and Honey is wearing some revealing outfit, okay? And of course, Mike is loving it. But during their date, Mike has to tell her that they have to pull back on the texting because they crossed the boundary, you know, by exchanging numbers. So, you know, Whitney threw some shade at Shay. She said she wasn't trying to throw shade, but come on now. We already know that she was being shady regardless of what she said, especially when she was like, Shay who? Like, oh, I forgot that we were even like in a situation here. Like, I forgot. Like, she trying to act like she is just the only one at this point. Anyway, there is lots of work for him and Shay to do, but I don't think Whitney is the girl for him. Okay, that's my opinion when it comes to that. She's not giving me wifey vibes. In other words, he shouldn't leave Shay for her because she doesn't seem like someone to settle down with no matter what she's been telling him. Like, I feel like, you know, since they're going on these dates and they're filling each other out, she's going to say all the right things, you know, just like he would say all the right things. That's what people do when they're dating. You always know that during that courting time, people are on their best behaviors. They're showing this charming side of them, the side that really makes you want to just be with them always. And then you finally get them and things just start dwindling down, honey. You get with the person and you always remember that honeymoon phase, okay? So we don't know what this guy would get if he leaves Shay for her because she's busy saying all the right things. For all he know, she could be for the streets. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect. I'm just saying. Let's be real. Nowadays, it's probably harder than ever to find wifey material or husband material. So it's like, love the one you with. Try to make it work as best you can. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking them chances outside. Because people nowadays are crazy. Like, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah out there. Anyway, so Shay goes on her date with Payton. And he comes to pick her up at the house, okay? Because before, when they first went on their date, they met at the bowling alley, all right? So now at the apartment, Michael is watching Shay get ready, and he's feeling some type of way, right? But once he sees Payton, he says that Payton is not Shay's type. So they pretty much seem like they know each other's type, you know what I mean? Like, Shay knows that Whitney is Michael's type, and Michael says that Payton is not her type. But the way Shay was fronting this whole time, she sure is acting like he was. But we're going to get into that. Before Payton gets there, though, Michael says to Shay, I hope you're not really trying to get to know this guy. You know what I mean? And it was like some nerve of you, the nerve of you to sit there and say that after you've been trying to get to know this other woman. And the only reason why Shay is going on a second date with this guy is to get under your skin because she didn't want him. Okay. Anyway, like she said, her whole thing was she didn't want him to come there really catching feelings for anyone. And she was already feeling like she wasn't going to catch feelings because she wants to marry him. So she's doing all this stuff just to play tit for tat. All right. So now, like I said, Shay and Payton, they leave, they go on their date. And Shay is just doing the most and saying the most on this date. Okay. She's walking with him arm in arm, doing some extra flirting at the table. And then she talks about this look that they gave each other that said that if she wasn't in a relationship with Mike, that they would have kissed each other. She's like, I just know we would have kissed each other. And I'm like, girl, stop. Because to me, even though she's saying all this stuff in the confessional, she knows that she don't mean none of it. I just don't believe, I'm not buying it. I just feel like she's only doing this because she knows Mike is eventually going to see it. So she's just playing the game right now. She's totally doing tit for tat, and I ain't mad. I'm not going to lie. I ain't mad. But anyway, so Shay and Payton, they finish their date. Okay. And at the end of the date, though, she gets Payton's number. And once again, it's like, Shay, it's so obvious that you was just doing this to get back at Michael. It was just so obvious. Like I said, I wasn't mad for her trying to get under his skin or make him jealous or whatever, but she could have been a little less obvious. That's all I'm saying. All right, now moving on to Ashley and Hollywood. So Ashley goes on a date and he comes pick her up at the house, and Hollywood is, he seems he's being pretty cool about it, being a gentleman and everything, offering the guy to come in, put the little booties over your feet and come in the house, sit down. You want some water, this and that, he was nice about it. And I was proud of him. Okay. But when she went out that door with that guy, he fell to the floor like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just sent her out on another date. All right. So anyway, Ashley is on the date with this man, and I forgot his name, guys. So she seemed to like him a little bit, but eventually said that he was too calm for her and it made her miss Hollywood's energy. All right, so next we're going to move on with Tamika and Vince, and nothing much really went on with them. So we're just going to kind of skim over them real quick. This week Tamika went to her parents' house and she was just discussing some things with them about her relationship with Vince. And she wanted to pick her father's brain about what he would say if Vince asked him for her hand. And, the father's like, well, at first, everything might have been cool. But once you told me about everything that happened from the beginning, now I got to see what's going on. I got to make sure that you're with the right person. Okay, which is the right answer. And another thing that he lets her know is, I think her parents were together for 40 years. So he was basically saying, look, you're not going to be your mother and Vince is not going to be me. Everybody is different. So, she had to learn and realize that it's not fair for her to compare her parents' life to her own, right? So later on, she has to sit down with Vince and, they're talking about marriage and things like that. And Vince says he doesn't want to propose until he knows that she trusts him. And that's fine and dandy, right? But he also has to make sure that he does whatever he needs to do to ensure that she does trust him, like Dr. Nicole told them during their group session. He told Dr. Nicole that he feels like it's pointless, it doesn't make sense, or it's a waste of time or something like that to be talking about these things that are bothering her that, basically that pertain to the past and how they met and things like that. And Dr. Nicole says, no, it's not. If she needs to discuss it, you owe that to her so that y'all can nip it in the bud and move on. Okay, I'm basically paraphrasing right now. All right, so now, since I'm talking about the group session, we're going to go into it a little further. And of course, Doc goes over the dates, right? Ashley tells Dr. Nicole that her date was cool, but like I told you guys earlier, It made her Miss Hollywood. Okay, so Mike talks about his date with Whitney, and of course, he's talking about how beautiful she was and how she looked and everything, and how she talked about this cat suit with a whip that she wanted to wear for Halloween, and he was just picturing her in that. And I'm like, he just be doing a whole lot, right? Right in front of Shay, just doing the most. And no wonder she wants to go tit for tat, because you're basically just clawing at the girl's heart with all of this. All right. Anyway, so then Shay talks about her date with Payton, and she says all these nice things and that he was cute. And then Mike interrupted real quick and was like, he ain't that cute. I was cracking up. But anyway, Shay finally tells the group that she took Payton's number. All right. She also says that she was caught up in the moment, just like Mike said last week when he revealed that him and Whitney exchanged numbers. So come on, you know that I can't say it enough. Shay is playing a game. Okay. But she does say that she didn't use the number. And on top of that, she finally admits that she was just doing all these things to get under his skin, which we all knew already. All right. And Mike knew it too. You know, Mike says Shay just wants to see him cry. You know what I mean? And he knows it's tit for tat, and he lets it be known that her getting Payton's number wasn't really a bother to him because he knows Shay's motives. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the moment they brought up Michael's son, Zion. So Shay tells Dr. Nicole that she doesn't want his son moving in with them, and that since she doesn't want to stop him from being there for his son, they can get an Airbnb. Everybody was stunned, and, you know, they were just looking around like, what? Is she serious? Dr. Nicole couldn't even understand it. She was just like, whoa, what's going on in the mind? You know, like she wasn't really saying this, but she was kind of like, what's the processing here? What's happening? She tells Shay that she has to understand that loving all of Mike means loving his son too. You know, you have to accept what comes with him. He is a father. He's not a deadbeat dad, honey. Maybe in your world, that's probably what you would have wanted. But girl, he's there for his son. He loves his son. He wants to be with his son and raise him as he's going into manhood. All right. But when she said the whole Airbnb thing, I was just like, wow, that was so cold. I don't even know what to say. Like, every week, this girl just proves that we're right about calling this girl selfish. Like, there's just nothing. I told you guys that I felt bad that there's nothing that I could ride with her for, because she's just not that type of chick that I'm going to stand behind. I'm sorry. She's just got a lot going on, honey. All right. So anyway, so like I said, she tells Shay that she has to understand that loving Mike is basically loving all of him, which means his son is included. And Shay says she didn't realize that it was that deep, you know? And I'm like, yeah, clearly not, sis. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to say this. All right. Mike has to understand something as well. He should not be trying to move his son in with his girlfriend right now, okay? If he ain't ready to get married, put a ring on it and all that stuff, he needs to hold off on moving his son in until things are figured out between him and Shay. Like, it's not fair for him to want to move his son in and play house, talking about, I want to show him what a real family dynamic looks like. That's not a real family dynamic. You need to seriously be married to this woman, making her an honest woman, okay? So once again, they got lots of things to talk about. They have lots of talking to do. It's like, in a way, he's being selfish as well. Like, I understand that he was hurt from her and things like that, and she kind of woke up some abandonment issues in him. But honey, if you're going to stay with her, you need to marry her. Stop stringing her along. It's time to crap or get off the pot. That's what Mike needs to do now, okay? And either Shay, I understand Shay want to be with this man so bad, but she going to have to also make a tough decision. You know, either she going to say, forget about it and take the pain and leave, you know what I'm saying, and get over it and find a man that's going to deal with all her crap and her selfishness and that is more suitable for her needs and wants and all that. Or is she going to suffer and be with this guy? I don't know, but they got to get it together, okay? Okay, so now we make it to decision time where Dr. Nicole asks the ones that went on a date if they want to go on another date with the people they went on a date with. So for Ashley, it would be a second date. For Shay and Michael, who already went on a second date with Payton and Whitney, it would be a third date. Okay, so we get to Ashley and she says no. Ashley is just having fun, just dating. She really likes this. She's enjoying this right now. So your girl's just like, send me the next one. Next, let's go. She's having fun. And then we have Shay and she says, no, I don't want to go on another date with Payton because she just wasn't really interested in him like that. Like I said, she was playing. So, of course she was hoping that by saying she didn't want to go on a second date or a third date with Payton, her man would be like, okay, yeah, let's stop this back and forth and going on these dates looking like we getting a little too close to other folks and not go on another date with Whitney. But once again, the same way they left us off last week, they left us off like that this week again. And with us waiting for this guy to make a decision on whether he's going to go on another date with Whitney. Okay. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I honestly, no matter how much I tell you guys that Shay is selfish, I have been feeling bad for her. Okay. So regardless of the type of woman she is, I don't know what's going on in her mind. Maybe she's one of those type of people. I think that, she's selfish, but I don't think she realizes it. So it's kind of like when the doctor brings it up and lets her kind of see herself a little bit. She's kind of like, oh, I never really thought of that. You know what I mean? So maybe by showing her a mirror or letting her see how crazy she sounds, it can maybe help her grow. Maybe this whole experience will help her grow into a better person, I hope. Hopefully it helps everybody grow into a better person. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, we got to wait once again to see if this fiend Mike is going to go on another date with Whitney. Okay? Anyway, so that is the end of the video, guys. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Be blessed. Bye-bye.